Hello, everybody. It's another beautiful day here in Willa Dean's kitchen. Today, we're going to be making a country steak with mushroom gravy. So, what we have here is I went out and I got some of these cube steaks. So, I have actually four good sized ones and a little small piece there. We're going to season and flour these cube steaks and then we're going to fry them off, and that'll get us started on our steak dish here. In addition to that, we have some chopped onions here. We have some sliced mushrooms. I actually have 2 bowls of these mushrooms. We have some dry herbs here. We have a quarter teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of black pepper, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half teaspoon of paprika. Also going into the gravy or the sauce is a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And I have some fresh herbs here, a little bit of finely chopped rosemary and thyme are in this bowl here. And then to thicken our gravy up, of course, we're going to have some butter, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour. That'll be for the roux. And then, of course, we have our beef stock. We're going to have 2.5 cups of beef stock. Now, if you don't have homemade beef stock, which is what I do, and sometimes I don't, so I have to resort to my better than bouillon. And what I do with this, I take maybe a teaspoon or two, and I dissolve it in some hot water, and that'll be my stock. So it's got a lot of flavor in it as well. So you can use the better than bouillon or some beef bouillon if that's what you have for your stock. So I'm gonna get the steaks floured up, ready to go in the pan, and then I'll be back once we get started on the cooking. Okay, so we have finished the first cook of our steaks. We fry them off first, and then we're going to add them back to the gravy and let them cook some more. So now we saved some of the oil from the pan, and we're going to add in our onions and our mushrooms. And we're going to let these cook, and then we're going to add our flour, butter, and our seasonings, and we're going to make up the roux. Okay, so gravy is starting to thicken up here, and looking at it, it doesn't actually look like beef gravy. It's a little light in color, and there's a secret to fix that, and it's called Kitchen Bouquet. Now, the Kitchen Bouquet is a browning sauce for gravies and soups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour 1 teaspoon of this Kitchen Bouquet into the sauce here. So we add the kitchen bouquet and we stir it up a little bit. And it gives us that brown color. Now, depending on how much gravy you want and how brown you like it, you could add another teaspoon if you like to. So now that we have our gravy going, we're going to add our beef back to the pot here. And we're going to let this cook for about 20-25 minutes. And it will thicken up even more and cook down on the gravy. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add our fresh herbs back into the pan and our Worcestershire sauce, which I don't show on the screen here, but I did add the Worcestershire sauce. And then we're going to add our steaks back to the pan, and we're going to actually let them cook. I said about 25 minutes, but mine actually cooked about 40 minutes before they were nice and tender and ready to serve. So you get your steaks back in, and then you let them cook. And you have to add water. If you see your gravy starting to dry out, just add more water to the pan and let it continue to cook until your steaks are nice and tender. Okay, everybody, our country steak with mushroom gravy is ready. I served it up with some green beans and some mashed potatoes. I garnished it with a little onions, mushrooms on the top here. It looks good. We're going to see what it tastes like. All right, so we're going to taste our steak dinner here. Just cut off a piece of this. And you know, this cube steak can sometimes be a little tough, so you got to let it cook low and slow. Just cook for about 35 minutes after we fried it off and made our sauce. So we're going to give it a taste here with a little bit of these mashed potatoes. Oh, it tastes great. And the steak is nice and tender. Got lots of flavor to it. So we have us a good dish here. Country steak with mushroom gravy, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Hope you enjoyed this recipe. Stay tuned for good recipes to come.